This is what happened when the word snitch come into play in the hood. Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. This is what happened when the word snitch come into play in the hood.
Eric Holder was the one who pulled the trigger. And for those seeking revenge, that was all they needed to know. As if all this chaos wasn't enough, Holder faced his own share of pain after the shooting. While he was on trial, he got attacked in jail, and according to his lawyer Jansen, it wasn't pretty. He was cut on the back of his head with a razor, his face was swollen, and his eye was messed up. Apparently, 2 inmates jumped him after he'd been transported back to jail following a court appearance.
Alright.
Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio. I like the way it's going down.
Alright, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We here, and this is a sad time, but I feel that I needed to do this video right here because when the word snitch is used and it comes out your mouth, there is no taking it back in the hood. And there's consequences to that. And this right here is showing what happens when that happened, the trickle-down effect on how, like David Chappelle said, you know, when fronting in the hood goes wrong. You know, this is when calling someone a snitch in the hood goes wrong. All right, so let's get this thing started.
Granny. But guess who was on that bus with me? Eric Holder. Nigga, that everything I love. He was right there on the same bus, and it's crazy because I'm tamed up. I'm with a few homies. I'm with a homie from 60s too. He looks back, everybody on the bus like, what the f? I swear to God. And then he's like, you Eric Holder? He's like, yeah. Crazy. Everything I love. He got pissed on and some more shit, spit on.
They were pissing and spitting on him in the bus?
Hell yeah, squirting piss on his ass.
Like, they went and did John's that same day. People's dead behind that. And it's like, most would have been like, I ain't got shit to live for. Shit, y'all people.
Nipsey Hussle's tragic death sent shockwaves through the world, shaking the music industry, his community, and fans everywhere to the core. But who could have imagined the fallout for his career, Eric Holder, would spiral into something this intense, this chaotic, and frankly, this extreme?
After that happened, they went and shot up this family house. They wiped out his whole family. Baby, mama, granny, dead.
See, when that word snitch is used, it ain't nothing nice. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't fall into this social media, trap. And you run across somebody that take it to the heart, that's willing to take you to the grave for putting that label on them. So be real careful, man. I see a lot of that going on social media, man. I'm telling you, I love all of y'all. Even what, the ones that call me their competition because I'm doing my thing. Hey, you know what I mean? I don't want nothing to happen to y'all, man. You got people out there that's living by that, man. Be careful.
Like, they went and did John's that same day.
It's like watching a real-life cautionary tale unfold, with consequences rippling far beyond the courtroom. So, here's how the story unfolds. Eric Holder, the man convicted of murdering Nipsey, has been sentenced to a staggering 60 years in prison.
Hip-hop star Nipsey Hussle was gunned down in 2019, and today, Holder Jr. was sentenced to 60 years to life.
Justice.
You see what I'm saying? He was sentenced to 60 years to life for one word: snitch. He went to jail for 60 years of his life for one word. And I know y'all watching this don't understand, and that's understood because that shows that you're living in a society where you're respecting others. As y'all call citizens, that's what it is, Man, you can't do that, man. Because you can't put that toothpaste back in that tube once you call somebody a snitch. And this is the way it play out. And this is not what I want to happen to y'all. So that's why I'm letting y'all know straight up, yo, don't do it, man. All right? Please don't do it.
On paper seemed served, but long before the gavel even dropped, Holder started facing a storm of consequences outside the legal system. Rumors swirled about a brutal shootout that allegedly targeted his family, leaving devastating casualties in its wake.
You see what I'm saying? Anything could happen, man. When you call someone a snitch, everything connected to your bloodline must go for me to defend my honor. That means your mother, your father, your dog, your cat, your pet monkey, Bubbles, for sake. That's how serious this is, man. Y'all not used to hearing it like this, so, that's why it's running rampant like it's rumping. But when I grew up, decapitation was allowed when someone, snitched on you. Not promoting violence, just telling you what it is. That's how serious it is. Dude said he want to make sure his head and his body don't wind up in the same place. So he separated them. So if they made a mistake and sent him to heaven, he won't have a head. You know what I mean? If they made a mistake and sent him to heaven, he won't have a body. We just have a head. You have to just sit there. But that's how serious this is. I make light of it because, this is real, man, and it warms my heart when I see so many people going by society standards and not falling into the street to have to follow these rules. Because once you enter in the street, these are the rules. Make sure you subscribe at Mecca Audio TV and hit the notification bell. And over here, hit the like button. You already know the membership. You're going to get the videos first. You know how we do. It's going to be like a Patreon for the videos they're not going to allow me to put up on YouTube that they say you ain't going to get paid for it. So I'm just going to give it to my members. And, but remember, right? I'm also on Twitch. But anyway, let's play this out, man. But this is some real stuff. This right here is real as it's going to get.
As if that weren't chilling enough, word on the street suggests anyone daring to visit or associate with him might face deadly consequences too. It's almost as if Nipsey's legacy has created an invisible shield of vengeance around his memory, and Holder's family seems desperate to distance themselves from paying further prices in blood. And then there's prison, where Holder's life hasn't exactly been smooth sailing either. Stories of mistreatment and violence have surfaced, painting a bleak picture of his existence behind bars.
Rapper Nipsey Hussle's alleged killer was attacked on his way to court. Eric Holder's attorney tells TMZ that he was attacked by two people while in a holding cell. Holder needed 3 staples after being cut.
One former inmate even recalled a harrowing incident during Holder's transfer to prison, describing the merciless abuse endured.
But guess
All right, before he even start, right, just so you understand, this is when what we call in the prison system a green light has been put on you. A green light is anyone see you, they could just run over you, run through you, whatever it is that they want to do to you. A green light has been put on Eric Holder, is what they're explaining so you understand. So if this don't deter y'all from wanting to go into these people prison where a man could put a green light on you. And if a man put a green light on someone else and he said, "I ain't got nothing to do with me," if that man is down with your car and he's a part of your car and he says the green light out on Johnny, and then Johnny hit the compound, he could tell you, go hit Johnny. Go put your Bethel hand, as Banky Pound said, in Johnny. See, I gave my man Banky Pound a plug. That's what it's about. It's about helping each other out, man. Banky Pound, check him out. Great prison stories. Great man. Let's get this 100. But that's how real men do, But, that's where we at with that. And I want you to fully understand that when there's a green light on you, until that joint is called off, it's on site. Wherever anyone see you from that set, it's gonna be up. Now, this is what he had to endure. So this is what happened. And that you youngins watching this will have to endure. You think you're gonna watch social media, think you're a gangster, go out, commit a crime, go to prison, and then, tell so that you have to get less time in prison. And then now you're on the bus and you're on the way up north or down south or cross country or wherever you at the feds of the state. and then this is how they're gonna treat you so you understand. And this is real.
That's who was on that bus with me. Eric Holder. Nigga that everything I love. He was right there on the same bus, and it's crazy because I'm tamed up. I'm with a few homies. I'm with a homie from 60s too. He looks back, everybody on the bus like, what the f? I swear to God. And then he's like, you Eric Holder? He's like, yeah, it's crazy. Everything I love. He got pissed on and some more shit, spit on.
They were pissing and spitting on him in the bus?
Hell yeah, squirting piss on his ass.
While some shrug off his fate, others can't help but wonder, is this the beginning of the end for Holder? Could his time in prison be even shorter than anyone expected? Not because of early release, but because of what happens when revenge and justice blur into one dangerous force. Nipsey's influence was undeniable. He was adored, respected, and cherished not just in his neighborhood but across the entire rap world. It's likely Holder never anticipated just how far that influence would reach, or how fiercely people would rally to honor Nipsey's memory. The big question now is, does Holder regret pulling that trigger? Or is it too late for regret to matter? Let's unpack and see how deep it goes. So here's the thing. After Eric Holder shot Nipsey Hussle, the streets were buzzing with whispers that revenge was swift and brutal, with claims floating around that his entire family might have been targeted in a wave of retaliatory attacks.
After that happened, they went and shot up family house. They wiped out his whole family. Baby, mama, granny, dead.
Not saying that's true, but that's how it go when you out there, man. When all of this from one word is what I want you to understand. I'm just showing you, I'm breaking it down to the smallest degree, the smallest molecule, so you could understand. All of this that we seeing on this video is behind one word. Nothing else. It's not behind Eric Holder. It's not behind Nipsey Hussle. It's one word. Because anyone use that, no matter what name or brand is on them, it's death and madness. It's, yo, hold on, man.
Like, they went and did John's that same day.
While nothing official confirmed this, several unverified reports hinted that at least 2 of Holder's family members had either been offed or shot at as payback for Nipsey's emder. And even DJ Academics, a big name in hip-hop media, chimed in saying family members of Holder had been attacked. This, of course, sparked a massive debate about how far people were willing to go to seek vengeance for Nipsey, but it didn't.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I don't like. And that's why I make sure I make it emphatically clear here that this is just for entertainment that we playing. This is what they're saying, but we don't know if these are the facts. But this is for entertainment and educational because I'm breaking it down to let you know what happened when you get involved in running on the street, getting caught up, or you call someone a snitch. That's all this video is. This is not to say that these are facts and this and that, because I stay out of other people's business. Let me say that. I'm just using this as an example, as a tutorial. That's it. Whatever's happening over there, I don't know. I don't even know what happened in New York from 93 to 2020 when I came in. I went in 93, came out 2020. I don't know what happened in New York, so I don't get involved in their business, how their gang structure go or their homeboy structure or hood culture, none of that. So I'm definitely not getting in California either, but this is a great tutorial, man. Just want to point that out, because you know we got the rat bastards that we're trying to twist the words up and create something that ain't even there because they can't think past go and they mad at Unique Mecca Audio doing what he got to do over here and popping it off. So let's get back to this class.
Didn't stop there. The conversation only got messier. Tariq Nasheed, another outspoken voice and an LA resident, didn't hold back, claiming that Holder was notorious in the neighborhood as a snitch and might have been involved in other K-ings too. He even took it up a notch, posting a photo that he alleged showed the crime scene of one of Holder's relatives. As this frenzy unfolded, the LAPD reportedly beefed up patrols, trying to keep the peace in the face of mounting tension after Nipsey's tragic death. But let's be real. The rumor mill was spinning at full speed and it wasn't about to slow down. Some folks began whispering that Holder might not have been acting on his own, that he was just a pawn in some larger, more sinister game. The name Big U popped up more than a few times in these conversations, mostly because of his past issues with Nipsey. Word had it that tension between the two flared when Nipsey decided to cut ties with Big U and strike out on his own, which apparently led to some bad blood. According to someone in the rolling 60s who's been dropping her 2 cents on all this fallout might have played a part in what happened.
Because if Big U was actually in on it, I would be like, paid me or you did whatever, and I didn't. And I held up my end of the bargain.
In the days after Nipsey's death, speculation about Big U's involvement ran wild in LA, with people pointing to his clout in the community and his history with Nipsey as reasons he might have been connected.
When that Nipsey first popped off, when it first happened, everybody in LA thought Big U was shitty.
But at the end of the day, all that talk didn't really stick. Eric Holder was the one who pulled the trigger. And for those seeking revenge, that was all they needed to know. As if all this chaos wasn't enough, Holder faced his own share of pain after the shooting. While he was on trial, he got attacked in jail, and according to his lawyer Jansen, it wasn't pretty. He was cut on the back of his head with a razor, his face was swollen, and his eye was messed up. Apparently, 2 inmates jumped him after he'd been transported back to jail following a court appearance.
Rapper Nipsey Hussle's alleged attacked on his way to court. Eric Holder's attorney tells TMZ that he was attacked by 2 people while in a holding cell. Holder needed 3 staples after being cut.
Things got so bad that the judge had to cancel court for the day, telling the jurors to come back later unless they heard otherwise. Rolling Stone reported that Holder was supposed to be kept away from other inmates during transportation, but clearly that plan didn't quite work out. And all of this stems back to the tragic day in May 2019,
When Holder heard that Nipsey allegedly called him a snitch. All this from one word, man. If you don't understand how unique this is, follow me at Instagram, Cash App on the screen, hit the icon, make sure it say it was created in 2020. But most definitely, just hit the like button. But anyway, one word sparked all of this video, all of this madness, one word. In the hood, you die before you let someone call you a snitch and get away with it. So it ain't nothing for you to unalive someone for calling you that. So be careful who you use this word around. And I'm speaking from the heart. We don't need this, man. We don't need this, man. One word, man. Snitch. Rat. Bastard. They know who they are. You don't need to call them out. When I hit my gunshots, right? Every snitch and every rat bastard in earshot vicinity feel that I'm talking about them. But then when they sit back and think about it, be like, man, yo, I'm bugging. You know, like I watched a video yesterday. I watched a fire video on YouTube yesterday. Never seen nothing like this. I'm going to get back to Eric Holder, but we riding over here right now. I watched the video. I'm going to go to get you real fast what it was about. It was about these dudes came from like Chicago area down to a Mayfair, you know, a little town outside of there. And they went in there with violence and mayhem, and dude name kept coming up. So they wanted to get him. So he had a bunch of trap houses that they sold drugs out of. So they wound up putting the cameras in a trap house and fixed it up for him and put him in there. And they got a chance to record in that trap house while these kids is in there just playing video games and talking and smoking weed and pulling out guns and reminiscing about this killing and that killing. They catching it all on tape. For the first time I ever seen anything like that on TV. I mean, I lived that, but there's a difference. To sit back and watch that with my grandkids was like the most wonderful feeling, to be able to explain to them what is going on, because then, you know, they took all those tapes, locked them up, and then they did a documentary on it where they talked to them from in prison, where they in the feds now, one doing 35 years, one doing 62 years, and all these crazy numbers. And then they talking to their mothers and their grandmothers, and they're calling home while the family is there, and they showing the whole dynamics. I'm gonna show. If y'all want to see that, put that up. But I might do that anyway, because I think y'all need to see that. This video was so powerful, man. You know what I mean? But if that don't stop the youth from wanting to go down that path, these dude pulling out gun, listen, I'm gonna give you one, right? Cause we ride. Same video. It's a dude that they had. A dude stole some guns. One of his crew members, his homies, stole some guns from him, so they held him down butt naked, put his hands out in front of him like this, and took a hammer and bashed his hand 3 times on each thing and made his hands look like mincemeat. And then he got it all bandaged up in the whole video while he was in the hospital for that. When he got out the hospital, dude went and picked him up at the hospital. Now tell me that ain't gangster. He said that was just your discipline. Come on, you still down with the crew. You know what I mean? You stole, you paid. You know what I mean? By me cracking your hands 3 times. You know what I mean? But that's how real it is on the street. If y'all want to see this video, man, I loved it. I stayed up all night watching this video, man. Yo, but this joint was so fire. So they moving into the trap house and they even showed him with the bandages on both hands. He got these big bandages on both hands. And he's picking up the couch, carrying it in. And then now that he's in jail, he's explaining that video where he let it be known he was that scared of the dude that, you know, banged his hands, that he was just looking for his chance to get away from the dude. But he was scared to death for his life because he had nowhere to run to. He never left that little town. And this is a dude that came from the big city of Chicago down there to the little town. Man, video with fire. Let me get back to Eric Holder. We ride. We ride, man. We ride. But that's how I spent my Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, man. And subscribe at Mecca Audio TV.
Holder allegedly walked up to Nipsey outside his clothing store, The Marathon, and opened fire, hitting him 11 times and injuring 2 others in the process. The whole thing was supposedly caught on video, showing Holder even kicking Nipsey in the head as he lay on the ground bleeding, a moment that shook not just LA but the entire world.
PD District Attorney John McKinney alleged Holder gunned down Nipsey in the parking lot of the Marathon clothing store, walked over to his bullet-riddled body and kicked him in the head.
So here's how it all played out. Right from the start of the trial, Jansen, Eric Holder's lawyer, didn't shy away from the fact that his client did shoot Nipsey Hussle, who was just 33, but he pushed back hard against the idea that it was some cold, calculated plan. This is a case of heat of passion, Jansen told the jurors, explaining that Nipsey had accused Holder of being a snitch. And, well, that kind of talk doesn't just sit quietly in the streets.
A lot of the from his own hood, they gonna feel like Eric Holder was in the right and he did what he was supposed to do as a gangster, as a street.
Where he's from, when you get called a snitch, it's traumatizing. It's basically the worst thing somebody could say to you, so he's saying he snapped.
You've got to remember, these two had history. They grew up in the same neighborhood, and they were both tied to the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips in South LA. So this wasn't just some random encounter, it was personal. According to Herman Douglas, one of Nipsey's closest friends, the two had a brief conversation just 10 minutes before the shooting. Nipsey brought up this rumor he'd heard about Holder supposedly cooperating with law enforcement and giving up names. Douglas said Holder didn't even seem all that bothered when Nipsey mentioned it, like he was brushing it off, but clearly something must have been simmering beneath the surface because what happened next changed everything.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? Something was simmering beneath the surface. No, he was plotting. He right there, he already saw, no disrespect, he saw Nipsey laid out, you know what I mean, and the angels taking him. When someone call you a snitch and you in the hood, see, this social media, so, you know what I mean, you brushed it off your shoulder now. But when you tell someone that you know, and that it's in your heart, everything this young man did after this go to show you how serious the streets really are. Even if you're not playing as serious as the other players, once you enter the game, you're fair game for all the players. So you don't get to call a real player in the game a snitch and then say, my bad. There is no my bad to that. I'm just giving to you 100 so y'all fully understand. All right?
And then there's Braynita Nicholson, Holder's former flame, who laid out a whole different angle when she testified. She said she had driven Holder to a restaurant in the same plaza where Nipsey's Marathon store was located, and while they were there, she overheard Holder confronting Nipsey in this loud, sharp tone, saying, "Did you say I snitched?" before walking off.
Now, what did you hear Eric say? Did you say, I snitched? Eric was asking Nipsey if he snitched. And then at that point, she said she took a photo and then she walked off.
After that, Holder got back in the car and told Nicholson to drive around the block, once, twice. And by the time they looped back, she said he was sitting there loading his gun right in the car.
Right there is where he made his mind up. This man got to go. This man got to go. He called me a snitch. I'm just playing this out how it played out. This is what was in his mind right there, yo. He got to go. I can't. You know, that's what Eric Holder is saying as he's loading his gun.
Did he want to eat his food? Then he said drive around. So now he's back in the car with the chili cheese fries, and he asked her to just pull out of the parking lot and to drive around. He said once they came back around the block, they pretty much did a circle. He began to put bullets in the gun.
She even described.
You see what I'm saying? Eric Holder took his time to say drive around the block. Let me get my thoughts together. And after they went around the block, he had his thoughts together and he said, nah, I can't do it. The devil is winning right now. The devil is winning because I got to honor my name. And that's when he began loading his gun, as she's speaking about, just to give you a proper hood narrative on what went on right now.
Described how he casually told her to park in an alley, took a couple of bites of his chili cheese fries. Like this was the most normal thing in the world.
Yes, it is the most normal thing in the world. A man caught me a snitch, he gotta go. It's the most normal thing in the world. This is what on Eric's mind. He said, man, yo, wait here in the alley. I don't even want you a part of this, you know, but I gotta take care of this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna come back and finish this salmon. Let me get a bite before I go. And he took 2 big bites, put it down, went to go do what he gotta do and come back. It was just that simple, man. You know what I mean? Because that's how cold and heartless it is in the hood. So don't say I didn't tell you. Pay attention to this, man. You getting something you ain't gonna get nowhere else, man. Follow me at Instagram on the screen. Unique Mecca Audio, Cash App right there. Hit the icon. Make sure it says Creative 2020. And subscribe at Mecca Audio TV. All right?
And then just walked off toward the store.
She says, I kept stressing to him, let's go. Then he said, wait right here. I'll be right back.
Moments later, she heard gunshots ringing out, and at first she thought about taking off, but then she hesitated, wondering if maybe Holder had been hurt in whatever went down. But then he came running back, jumped in the car, and yelled at her to drive away fast. She said she saw him stash 2 guns in a bag, and even then, she didn't fully put 2 and 2 together. It wasn't until he spent the night at her place and she saw news reports about Nipsey's death that it hit her. Holder might have been the one responsible. And think about that for a second. She had only known this guy for a month, and now she's caught up in one of the most devastating and talked about moments in LA history, which is just wild when you consider how quickly things escalated from a simple car ride to an irreversible tragedy. Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, sat down with Big Boy for an emotional and eye-opening interview, where he talked about everything from Nipsey's life in their childhood to the gut-wrenching day his brother was taken from them. Toward the end of the conversation, Sam got really personal as he shared his memories of that tragic day in 2019.
Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. Want to say rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
He described how, despite the chaos, there was this flicker of hope as they rushed Nipsey to the hospital, holding on to the belief that maybe, just maybe, his brother would pull through. But when the news came that Nipsey had passed, everything crumbled. It was like the Twilight Zone after that, Sam recalled, his voice heavy with emotion. Everything I believed in. My faith was shattered.
Just couldn't understand it, man. Just like the Twilight Zone after that. Everything I believed in or my faith in shattered.
It was a moment that stuck with listeners, showing just how deep the loss cut, not just for Sam, but for everyone who loved Nipsey. Big Boy, never one to shy away from the tough questions, asked Sam if he believed the narrative that Nipsey's Emder was just a random spur-of-the-moment act. That's when Sam started peeling back the layers, revealing some details that painted a much different picture. He explained that whenever Nipsey visited the Marathon store, there was always a protocol, a routine meant to keep him safe. You're gonna see me with a hoodie on and I got a pistol on me, Sam said, describing how someone would usually be stationed at the door, armed and watching over the scene.
We in the doorway. When Hustle pull up, we in the doorway. You gonna see me with a hoodie on, and I got a pistol on me.
Yo, well, you know what? That's how sad we are as a people, that here it is, a young man trying to help the people, and this is how he have to go into the hood in order to help the people. With a man with a hoodie on and a pistol. I mean, what are we doing as a people? How does that equate to being civilized as a people? He's trying to help the hood. And I was in prison, right? Can we ride? I was in prison when this happened, and I watched it from the TV out there in Victorville, California, right before my release. And I couldn't believe the amount of people that was out there because I've been in prison 26 years. We don't get the music. We don't get the real news like that, except for whatever magazines our family members send in that, we choose to look at. So I didn't know how big Nipsey was. I didn't even really hear his music. At that time, I didn't even hear Jay-Z music, Biggie music, Tupac music, Foxy Brown, Little Kim, you know what I mean? M.O.P., you know what I mean? Snoop Dogg. When I got locked up in 93, Snoop Dogg's first album just came out in October, that last quarter, and I got locked up December 10th, and that was the last I heard of Snoop Dogg other than whatever videos I seen that was on the MTV, that was on the TV in the prison, or the BET if they had that. And a lot of times they didn't have BET because we roughed it off to see as much as we can of the outside world. And these people didn't understand that, that was our only chance to see our own. Because all the other channels, they had Europeans on them playing movies and fake dudes playing us. You know what I mean? So we wanted to see, so we loved it, like the VH1, the Love and Hip Hops. We loved that. Every Monday night, me too, I was in front of TV. I was in front of TV. But it's sad that he has to go into his place of business to save the people armed every day. Come on, man. Wake up, people.
You're gonna see one of the team members in a hoodie in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol. Why the in there didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? Maybe they was around helping the customer, doing some customer service. This is what I'm thinking. Transition into some legitimate, just selling clothes. But nobody was in the doorway.
But on that particular day, something was off. No one was standing guard, and Nipsey, dressed in shorts and seemingly relaxed, was left vulnerable in a way he never should have been. Sam went on to recall how Eric Holder, the man who ultimately pulled the trigger, first approached Nipsey shirtless, like he was scouting the area. Holder, Sam said, must have noticed the lack of security at the door, seen that Nipsey wasn't on high alert, and made his move. But here's where it gets even more chilling. Holder walked away just like Brianita had confirmed during her testament, only for him to come back minutes later wearing a red shirt. In their neighborhood, Sam explained, nobody wears red shirts. It's practically a rule. You can't even buy one at the local liquor store. To Sam, this detail wasn't just random. It was deliberate. He believed Holder intentionally put on the red shirt to throw people off, to make his actions seem disconnected from the gang-related tensions of the area before sneaking through the alley and carrying out the attack.
You see what I'm saying? That's how serious this is, that he knows he has to go for calling him a snitch, that he's already coming up with a calculated plan that he's going to throw it off and let him think it was the other set that did it. I mean, this is how serious it is when you call a real man from the street. Yeah, y'all go ahead, you rat bastards, and say, how could you call them a real man? Because that's a part of the rules in their game. And it's not a part of the rules of your game. Like a lot of things y'all let slide, they look at y'all like y'all soft. And then you got to knuckle it up and say, nah, okay, my heart is just different, but I can still fight. I'm still physically strong enough to fight. And that's where a lot of the misconception come in with, people from the street and then meeting people from the suburbs. They think because they talk different, act different, that they're physically different. You know what I mean? When they don't know, they can knuckle it up too. And that's where a lot of that go down. Let's go back.
For Sam, this wasn't just some heat-of-the-moment thing. It was calculated, planned, and devastatingly executed.
From my understanding, old boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene, because he know what's going on in that parking lot. So he came back with a red shirt on, tiptoed through the alley, and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt.
Fast forward to the trial, and Holder was eventually sentenced to 60 years to life in prison.
See, y'all didn't even catch that. That's how flying hood that is. I like that. He said, yo, you can't even buy a red shirt over here. All right? And then he ain't saying ain't no Woolworths, you know what I mean? None of that ain't selling it. He actually said, ain't no liquor store selling a t-shirt. Now you know you're in the hood when the liquor stores is selling t-shirts. You know what I mean? Just to let you know how the real world look at it. You know, when the liquor store is selling t-shirts, you know what time it is, and that's no disrespect. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. That everybody's a hustler. Even the liquor store owner said, "Man, dude, drunk, done got in a fight out front. They done made up. They gonna buy a bottle, drink that Thunderbird together, and make up. And he want to change his t-shirts. So I'm gonna sell cheap t-shirts for when they get drunk and fight." You know what I mean? Or spend the night out and realize they joined 30 and they going to another party. They didn't get a chance to wash their ass yet, but yet they just grab a t-shirt and throw that on and walk in the party smelling like moss. You know what I mean? Welcome to the hood. That's all over the place, man. You know, New York, everywhere else. So it ain't no disrespect. It's just letting you know that's what the hood is. That's why that video I was telling you about is so fire. They had a camera in the trap house.
With the verdict landing on July 6, 2022, when he was found guilty of first-degree murder for Nipsey's K-ing.
For count one alone, it would be 50 years to life. The total sentence would be 60 years to life in prison.
The sentence came down hard, as it should, considering the weight of his actions. But Holder wasn't just convicted of Nipsey's murder. He was also found guilty of 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter and possession of a firearm. He pleaded not guilty to all charges, and while the jury didn't buy his claims of innocence when it came to Nipsey, they did find him not guilty of attempted murder in relation to 2 men injured during the shooting. After the verdict, Holder's attorney Aaron Jansen expressed disappointment, saying that they planned to appeal the sentence. It was always going to be tough given the high-profile circumstances surrounding the case.
Look at all this that's going on for one word, man. If y'all don't understand the irony of why I did this video on Thanksgiving, I'm giving y'all a jewel that'll save your lives, your family's lives, man, and hopefully prevent them from going down that path to have to even be put in this circumstance. All of this that spiraled out of control is for one word, man. One word out of a man's mouth spiraled all these actions. Eric Holder getting cut in the head, beat up, face swole up. You know, this one getting this, that one getting that. Just watch this. Is crazy.
Jansen told ABC News, acknowledging just how much attention the trial had received. But he also pointed out a small silver lining in what he saw as an otherwise heavy blow. They were relieved the jury agreed to acquit Holder of the 2 attempted murder charges, believing those accusations were overblown. Still, for Sam and the rest of Nipsey's loved ones, the focus wasn't on legal technicalities. It was about the irreplaceable loss of a man who wasn't just a rapper, but a community leader, a brother, and a beacon of hope in a neighborhood that needed him. Sam's reflections during that interview served as a painful reminder of how much was lost that day, not just for his family, but for the culture Nipsey worked so hard to uplift. Even though Holder pleaded not guilty to the first-degree murder charge, he never actually denied pulling the trigger and K-ing Nipsey Hussle. His lawyer Jansen made the case during the trial that while Holder did shoot Hussle, it wasn't some premeditated act. It was a crime of passion, fueled by the heat of the moment. Mr. Holder has always been willing to accept responsibility for the charge of voluntary manslaughter for the life he took, Jansen explained in a statement to ABC News on July 2nd, 2022. But here's the thing. Nipsey's murder wasn't Holder's first brush with the law. Turns out, Holder already had a bit of a track record. Back in 2009, he faced charges for domestic violence and battery, though both cases ended up being dismissed. Then there were smaller infractions like getting caught driving without a license in 2011. But things got more serious in 2012, when he was busted for carrying a loaded firearm and a concealed weapon. Holder eventually pled guilty to the first charge, which earned him 180 days in LA County Jail and 3 years of probation. By 2015, he even had a probation violation hearing. Still, nothing in his past compared to the magnitude of what he's dealing with now. On the other hand, Nipsey Hussle was the polar opposite, a beacon of hope for the Crenshaw community. He wasn't just a rapper. He was a community leader who gave back to the same neighborhood he came from. He provided jobs, supported local businesses, and was even in talks with the LAPD about ways to reduce gang violence just days before his tragic death. Nipsey's impact wasn't limited to music or his immediate surroundings. He was a force for change. Born Ermias Joseph Askedom, Nipsey carved out his own lane in the music world, starting with his independent release of Slauson Boy Volume 1, which gained him local buzz and led to deals deals with Cinematic Music Group and Epic Records. Over the years, he became known for his standout mixtapes, like the Bullets Ain't Got No Name series, The Marathon, and Crenshaw. That last one, Jay-Z himself bought 100 copies at $100 each, a power move that made headlines and solidified Nipsey's hustle as something special. Then came his debut album, Victory Lap, in 2018, which was a massive success, earning a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album. Even after his passing, Nipsey's influence remained strong, with posthumous Grammy wins for Racks in the Middle and Higher. But Nipsey's story wasn't just about music. He grew up in Crenshaw and got involved with the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips as a teenager. At just 14, he left home and started hustling. But by 19, his perspective shifted. A trip to Eritrea with his father and brother in 2004 was life-changing. It inspired him to embrace an entrepreneurial mindset and dedicate himself to uplifting his community. His stage name, Nipsey Hussle, was a nod to his grind and work ethic, a playful take on comedian Nipsey Hussle, given to him by a childhood friend who saw his relentless drive. Nipsey Hussle wasn't just an artist. He was a symbol of resilience, ambition, and hope. His death left a void that's still felt today, but his legacy as a leader and visionary for Crenshaw continues to inspire, even in the face of the tragedy and loss that surrounded his life and death. Outside of music, Nipsey Hussle left an unforgettable legacy as a community leader and activist. He co-founded the Marathon clothing store and created Vector 90, a co-working space designed to empower young people in Crenshaw with opportunities in science, technology, and entrepreneurship. Nipsey was dedicated to uplifting his neighborhood, funding school improvements, mentoring students, and speaking out about his own experiences with gang culture to inspire change. He worked on projects like Destination Crenshaw to celebrate Black culture and had even planned a meeting with the LAPD to discuss solutions for reducing gang violence just days before his death.
I went through my emails yesterday and I found the original email to me to set up a meeting with the chief to help improve communication, relationships, and work towards changing the culture and dialogue between LAPD and the inner city.
After his tragic passing, the outpouring of grief from fans, celebrities, and even former President Obama highlighted how much he meant to his community and beyond. His funeral procession through South Central LA drew massive crowds, showing the deep respect and love people had for him. Nipsey's impact didn't stop there. His life inspired gang leaders to take steps toward peace, with many calling ceasefires and holding summits to curb violence. In every sense, Nipsey Hussle was more than a rapper. He was a movement, a visionary, and a symbol of hope for generations to come. And that's all from us today, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, this is a sad time, man. I mean, when we have to go through this, it's so sad that all this stemmed from one word. From one word. You know, one word stemmed to all that. I mean, you explain this to me, right? Explain how this makes any sense to you. Look at this young man's face from someone saying one word to him. That's how serious it is in the hood. I took my time to do this video because I really want the young men and women out there to understand before you enter into the street. Know that something as simple as one word could cause all of this spiral down effect that we just seen. And I took my time to show it. We've been on here long enough. Make sure you subscribe at Mecca Audio TV. Hit the notification bell. Do the same here at Unique Mecca Audio. Let's keep this thing moving. And count my man Lou Sims' book. It's fire. All right. The QR code in the video works. Just take a picture of it or just hold your phone to it when you freeze the screen, and you can order the book. Check out my brother's website and do what we got to do. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio.